Hello everyone. Today we have to discuss about nanotechnology applications in the biosensor. Okay. Uh, as we know that nanotechnology is a branch of science which use various nanomaterials, okay, for the treatment, diagnostics of the various disease. Okay. So these biosensor can be used for the diagnostics of various disease. Okay. That's why we know that nanotechnology plays a important role in development of biosensor. Okay, and the sensitivity and performance of biosensors is being improved by using nanomaterials. Okay, for their construction. And you know that the main component of the biosensor is transducer. Okay, so the transducer from for a key component of any biosensor or any sensing system. So the use of nanomaterials has allowed the introduction of many new signal transduction technology, okay, by the use of nanotechnology in the development of biosensor. So, because of their sub-micron dimensions, nano sensors and nano probe and other nanosystems have been allowed simple and rapid analysis for the detection or diagnosis of various diseases, and portable instruments that capable of analyzing multiple components are becoming available nowadays. Okay, so in this lecture we have to discuss various types of nanomaterials that used as a transducing element. Okay, and their applications in the development of various biosensors. Okay. So, learning objective of today lecture are to know about various types of transducing element that can be utilized for the development of biosensor, and to understand about the different types of biosensor using nanotechnology, and to know about the basic characteristic of a biosensor. Okay, so that the efficiency of or sensitivity of biosensor can be enhanced by the use of these nanomaterials. So first of all, we need to know about what is biosensor. Okay? So, biosensor is a device that used to detect the presence of analyte in the biological system. Okay, so that's why nanotechnology helps in the development of small, highly efficient, and inexpensive biosensor with broad applications. Okay, and these biosensor offer significant advantages over conventional sensor. Okay, because you know that the conventional sensors may use a large amount of substrate as compared to the nanosensor, and the efficiency of conventional biosensor also limited. And this also includes the greater sensitivity and selectivity and lower production cost and reduced power consumption as well as improved stability. Okay, so that's why the bio nanosensors are gaining a lot of attention in the diagnosis and other area of sensing where a minute quantity of analyte are undetectable by conventional biosensor. And DNA detection using biosensor is also gaining attention as a known PCR method for detection can be applied using a biotransducer for the detection of DNA or RNA. Okay, and if it toward the structural feature of a biosensor, so it consists of two main parts, and one part is for molecular recognition element, and so this molecular recognition element is the molecule or a compound that can react with the analyte or can bind with the analyte and confirm its presence by sending a signal in the form of light, heat, sound, okay, changing in temperature or any mechanical deformation. Okay, and the second part of biosensor is transducer, which is very important part. And the transducer is the device which is attached to the molecular recognition element, And the transducer transform the signal of any form like heat, light, mechanical strain, okay, to a perceivable electrical signal, so that someone can able to read data in digital form by the use of biosensor. Okay, so that's why in this lecture we have to discuss about importance of transducer is specifically by the use of nanomaterial and various types of transducing element and their principle and application in the biotechnology are to be discussed. Okay, so in this table we have to discuss that various types of time research that can be used for the detection in the biosensor. Okay, so the first device is the calorimetric transducer. Okay, and this calorimetric transducer can be used for the reaction of the Herceptin drug with cancer cell surface protein in breast cancer, which is a exothermic reaction and capable of detecting using a calorimetric transducer. Okay, and another transducer is electrochemical transducer, and this electrochemical transducer can able to measure the concentration of glucose. Okay, that directly proportional to the current. Okay, that's why the electrochemical transducer used for this. And another is magnetic transducer, which can be used for the detecting a specific cells, and another is piezoelectric transducer, which can be used for the detection of antigen antibody interaction. And another one is optical transducer, which can be used for the detection of the presence of bacteria in the food or killing a sample, so that the contaminated food or any sample can be identified. And mechanical transducer. Mechanical transducer can be used for the detection of a single base mismatch. Okay, that is oligonucleotide hybridization. Okay, so now we have to discuss each type of transducer in detail. Okay, then first of all we have to discuss calorimetric transducer. Okay, and a calorimetric transducer particularly used when the reaction carried by the system is convert heat change into the electrical signal. Okay, so this type of transducer can able to detect heat change, and this heat change can able to convert into the electrical signal by the use of this transducer. Therefore, many endothermic or exothermic biochemical reaction can be detected using the calorimetric transducer. Okay, and the transducer consists of thermistor, as you seen in this graph. Okay, in this figure, and this thermistor, which is a resistance whose resistance change according to the change in the temperature, and is able to detect even very small change in the temperature. Okay, and this is the very sophisticated method by which we have to use for the presence of analyte. The reactions are carried out in controlled and closed reactor, as you have seen in the figure, to ensure minimum amount of heat loss. And most of the enzyme catalyzation are exothermic in nature. Okay, so for that types of reaction we have to use calorimetric transducer. Okay, and the heat evolve can be carefully noted by the change in the current. Okay, that connected with the circuit. Okay, And in the kinematic transducer, the enzyme is made to enter the highly controlled system through this part, which mentioned by the A. Then it passes to the heat exchanger here, which mentioned by the C. Then through the first thermistor, okay, that point E, okay, this point E, the first thermistor, it reached the reactor where it made to react with the analyte. Then it moved out from the point H, okay, and passing through the thermistor that G, okay. So the change in the resistance of the two thermistors are noted, which confirm the occurrence of the reaction. Okay. So this kinematic transducer can be successfully utilized for the detection of breast cancer. So in the breast cancer, a surface protein is overexpressed, okay, and herceptin is a drug which is actually a monoclonal antibody that react with breast cancer cell having overexpressed this surface protein, and the reaction of the drug with the protein is an exothermic reaction. Okay, so obviously when the reaction is endothermic, it can easily detected by the calorimetric transducer. Okay, hence the breast cancer detection is possible by the use of calorimetric transducer. Okay, so this clearly shows that nanotechnology is playing an increasingly important role in the development of biosensor. Okay, so the sensitivity and performance of biosensor is being improved by using nanomaterial for the construction, and the use of these nanomaterial has allowed the introduction of many new signal transduction technology in the biosensor. Okay, so that's why the use of these nanomaterials has allowed the introduction of many new signal transduction methods for the development of biosensor, and a portable instrument capable of analyzing multiple components are becoming available nowadays. And okay, so that's why we have to discuss here uh, the properties of good biosensor, how we can improve these biosensor. Okay, so because there are so many sophisticated application is there where we can use or successfully utilize the biosensor. Okay, and that's why the nanobiosensor which exploit some fundamental nanoscopic effect in order to detect a specific biomolecular interaction. These nanobiosensors have now been developed to a point where it is possible to determine in what case their inherent advantage over traditional technique. Okay, such as nucleic acid microarray technology, which is more than offset the added complexity and cost involved constructing and assembling of the device. Okay, and and we know that nanotechnology involves the study, manipulation, creation, and use of materials, devices, and systems typically with the dimension uh, range from 10 to 100 nanometer. And we already know that nanotechnology is playing an increasingly important role in the development of biosensor. And sensitivity and other attributes of biosensor can be improved by using nanomaterials in their development, and nanomaterials or any matrices which has at least one of their dimension ranging in the scale of 1 to 100 nanometer, because these dimensions display unique physical property, chemical property because of their effect, such as quantum size effect and surface effect, macro quantum tunnel effect, to enhance the surface plasma resonance. Okay, so these property can exploit for the development of biosensor. That's why use of nanomaterials in the development of biosensor allow the use of many new signal transduction technology in their manufacture. Because of their sub-micron size, nanosensor, nanoprobe, and other nanosystems are revolutionized the field of chemical and biological analysis to enable rapid analysis of multiple substances in vivo. So that's why some microorganisms cause disease that have disaster and disastrous effect on human beings and can cause severe diseases. And the ability of some of the microorganisms to evolve rapidly allow them to adapt and grow under stressful conditions. With these properties of microorganisms and the advances in the genetic engineering technology, the use of these harmful microbes to cause intentional damage to the life and property cannot be ruled out. That's why under such a scenario, the control measure that we currently purchase, okay, uh, same time consuming and appropriate and the best emerging technology that is nano biotechnology to counteract this problem is the use of biosensor that provide us with a very tool to rapidly detection or presence and amount of microorganism in given environment or any sample, either food sample. Okay, and as we know that the biosensor is a device that uses specific biochemical reaction mediated by isolated enzyme and sometimes immune system, sometimes tissues, sometimes organelles or whole cells uh, exploit to detect a chemical compound usually by electrical, thermal or optical signal. Okay. So if we talk about a good biosensor, so there are certain characteristics of biosensor, okay, which will determine the quality of biosensor. So these major properties are linearity, sensitivity, selectivity, and response time. If we talk about the linearity, that means maximum linear value of the sensor calibration curve, and linearity of the sensor must be high for the detection of high substrate concentration. This linearity determine the sensor so that it give sensitivity either very low range and either for the large range of analyte or target analyte which we have to detect for any kind of sample. And another property of good biosensor is sensitivity. So the value of the electrode response per substrate concentration. Okay. So if any biosensor has to be sensitive and it can able to detect a very low amount of concentration that it can be uh, comes under the very good biosensor. And another property of good biosensor is selectivity, where interference of chemicals must be minimized for obtaining the correct result. Okay, so interference of the surroundings compound, the other compound which may interfere with the results. That's why the selectivity is very important for the analyte. If we detect the glucose, so our sensor not will react with the any other types of carbohydrate like fructose, galactose. Okay, so this is called selectivity. And response time, the necessary time for having 95% of the response. Okay, that's why the response time is a minimum. So it all that property the biosensor have called the good biosensor. So we have to focus on the increasing sensitivity of the biosensor to enhance these properties. Okay. That's why in the recent year with the development of nanotechnology, a lot of novel nanomaterials are being fabricated, and their novel properties are being gradually discovered, and the applications of nanomaterials in the biosensor have also been greatly advanced. Okay, nanomaterials-based biosensor represent the integration of material science, molecular engineering, chemistry, biotechnology, nanobiotechnology. Okay, can improve the sensitivity and specificity of biomolecule detection. Okay, that hold the capability of detecting or manipulating atoms and molecules and have great potential in applications such as biomolecular recognition and pathogenic diagnosis and environmental monitoring. Okay, okay, so that's why it is very much important to enhance these characteristics while using the nanomaterials. Okay. And now different types of biosensors that can be used in the nanotechnology. So the nanotechnology product can be classified into the three categories based on the number of dimensions they have. So the first is thin film, so such as coatings of implants for biocompatible purpose, anticoagulant coatings of stent, and coatings of pills and any other therapeutic agent have only one dimension pushed to the scale of few tens or 100 nanometer, while the other two dimension can still extend up to millimeters. Okay. So, and another is nanomaterials such as carbon nanotube, silicon nanowires, nanorods, nanofibers have two dimension pushed to the nanometer scale. And other nanomaterials such as quantum dots, gold nanoparticle, magnetic nanoparticle, polymeric nanoparticle, liposomes have all the three dimensions pushed to the nanometer scale. Okay. That's why the various kind of nanomaterials such as gold nanoparticle, carbon nanotube, magnetic nanoparticle, quantum dots are being applied to the biosensor because of their unique physical properties, chemical properties, mechanical properties, magnetic properties, optical properties. Okay, that can able to enhance the sensitivity and specificity of biosensor. And various kind of nanomaterials uh, such as uh, gold nanoparticle used in the field of in vitro diagnosis, even imaging, okay, for the imaging of various types of cancer. They have enabled the simultaneous multiplex detection of many disease biomarkers and the diagnosis of disease at a very early stage. Okay, and they have also opened the possibility to explore the detection of ultra-trace concentration of target analytes and have leads to ultra-sensitive, rapid, and cost-effective bioassay that require minimum sample value, okay, which is the criteria for a good biosensor. And the nanomaterials are being seen as the most promising candidate for the development of high throughput protein uh, analysis. And the size and shape, composition, structure, and other physical and chemical properties of nanomaterials can be modified in order to produce the desired material with specific absorption, emission, and light scattering properties. And the bioconjugated nanoparticles have also been developed for signal amplification in assay and other biomolecular recognition events. However, the most promising application of nanotechnology will be in the field of point of care diagnostics, which will enable the primary care physician and patient to perform assay at their respective settings. So the long-term stability of nanoparticles, in addition to their brightness and sharp bandwidth, will be tremendous significance to devise new methods for ultra-sensitive biomarker discovery and the development of biomarkers. Okay, so the gold nanoparticles tagged with the short segment of DNA can be employed to the detection of the genetic sequence in the sample, while the use of nanostructure like nanopores, nanowires, or uh, based devices can further provide the single molecular detection capability. And the identification and characterization of single extended genomic DNA or RNA without amplification has already been shown. And nanomaterials such as quantum dot nanoparticles are good imaging agents due to their enhanced performance and functionality, and they can be targeted to the specific disease site in the body by conjugating them to biomarker specific vector. And the nanomaterials based imaging agents provide additional information that related to the physiology and function apart from the anatomical information. And all these properties enable more accurate and early diagnosis of disease. Okay, like highly sensitive detection of early stage of cancer. And and this property leading to the better therapy. Okay, and the effectiveness of treatment can be monitored more rapidly. Okay, so the plasmonic nanoparticles and drug delivery will be employed for target therapeutics, where the impact will certainly be treated cancer. So that's why the use of nanoparticles can improve the bioavailability and pharmacokinetic therapeutics, and they take the drug directly to the target site of the disease in body by avoiding exposure of healthy tissue. Okay, so that's why nanoparticle can be used to enhance the sensitivity of biosensor. So in that way, the carbon nanotubes. So as we know that carbon nanotube have been one of the most extensively used nanomaterials used in the biosensor, diagnostics, tissue engineering, cell tracking, labeling, delivery of drug and biomolecules. And they are hollow cylindrical tubes composed of one, two, or several concentric graphite layer. Okay, that's why they are single walled, double walled, multi walled carbon nanotube. Okay, and they have a unique structure, excellent electrical and mechanical properties, high thermal conductivity, high chemical stability, and electrocatalytic activity. Surface folding is minimum, and low over voltage and high aspect ratio. And that's why the carbon nanotube based biosensor and diagnostics have been employed for the highly sensitive detection of analytes in the healthcare or even industry, environmental monitoring, food quality analysis. They have been predominantly used in the electrochemical sensing, mainly for glucose monitoring, but also for the detection of fructose, galactose, neurotransmitter, neurochemicals, amino acid, immunoglobulins, albumin, okay, insulin, human chorionic gonadotropin, C-reactive protein, cancer biomarker cell, microorganism, DNA, and other biomolecule. Okay, and now the graphene. So graphene again atomically thin layer that have sp2 hybridized carbon in another most extensively used nanomaterial than gold nanoparticle for the diagnostics and biosensor development. Okay, because they have a property like high mechanical strength, high thermal conductivity, high elasticity, and optical properties. Okay, and very high room temperature electron mobility, and demonstration of room temperature quantum Hall effect. And it is a transparent material with a very low production cost and low environmental impact, and it has been extensively employed in electrochemical, impedance, fluorescence, electrochemiluminescence, biosensor for the detection of wide range of analytes such as glucose sensor, cytochrome C analysis, NAD, NADH analysis, hemoglobin detection, cholesterol detection, ascorbic acid detection, dopamine detection, uric acid detection, hydrogen peroxide detection, okay, and peroxidase detection, catechol detection, DNA detection, heavy metal detection, okay, and even some of the gases detection. The graphene can be used in a biosensor. Now, if we talk about the transducer, so you know that transducer is a very important element when we have to design or develop the biosensor. So, electrochemical transducer report changes in the form of electrical signal, which is directly proportional to the concentration of analyte. Okay, as you have seen in the figure, binding of analyte results in ionic discharge, which can then be measured in the form of current or voltage using suitable transducer. Okay, like electrochemical transducer, and this transducer work on the principle that electrode electrolyte interface provide a switch for electricity to flow between two phases of different conductivity. Okay, So that's why electrode and solid or liquid electrolyte. Okay. So this transducer can able to used for the detection of glucose. Okay. And another is magnetic transducer. So magnetic transducer make use of phenomena of electromotive force induction by changes in the magnetic flux, and the electrical signal hence produced provide the detection of the target element. And magnetic transducer have their application in the nanobiotechnology in the detecting specific cells, and nanoparticles containing magnetic material are engineered biotechnically and aptamers or antibodies which bind to the target cells and are attached to the surface. And the nanoparticles are introduced inside the system where they bind to the specific cells, and they are magnetized by passing a electrical field. And the magnetization leads to the flux change through the transducer, which identify the target cell through an electrical signal. After that, even the separation or the removal of such cells is possible through the application of a strong magnetic field. Okay, that's why the giant magnetoresistance. Okay, so this giant magnetoresistance is a phenomena that's seen in the structure in the alternating ferromagnetic and non-magnetic materials that leads to a change in the resistance if the magnetization in the alternating ferromagnetic fields is parallel in one or anti-parallel in the other. That's why it is a highly sensitive method for detecting magnetic change and is also used in the fabrication of transducer. Okay. And the next one is a piezoelectric transducer. And this piezoelectric transducer is the one that converts changes in the pressure or mass to an electrical field. Okay, as you see in the figure, and piezoelectric transducer behaving like a sensor. It is made up of piezoelectric material, okay, like quartz. And quartz is a sheet structure of silica with the molecular formula SiO2, which is a polar in nature, and any mechanical stress leads to a change in the structure, and hence the separation between the positive and negative center changes, that causing a net changes in the electrical field. If such a material is connected to the circuit, the mechanical stress will lead to an electrical signal, which in turn can be detected by the biosensor. Okay, and piezoelectric transducer can be used as a biosensor in a way that a molecular recognition element such as antibody can be attached to a piezoelectric electrode. If the analyte binds to the antibody or any bulky molecule has an affinity toward the analyte which is already bound to the antibody, the change in the mass cause the electrode to experience sufficient pressure so it can produce an electrical field, which in turn changes the resonating frequency of the crystal, which can be noted. Okay, so in that way, this piezoelectric transducer work. And optical transducer. So optical transducer, as the name suggests, it utilizes changes in the optical property such as phase change, amplitude change, frequency change. Okay, because of the selective binding of an analyte with the biorecognition element, or it can convert the chemical energy to the light energy. Okay, and the principle of the optical transducer is photometric or photon output for a luminescent or fluorescent process can be detected with the photomultiplier tube or photodiode system. And the governing things is that enzymatic reaction alter the optical property of some substance which allow them to emit light upon illumination in the form of fluorescence, photofluorescence, and chemiluminescence. Okay, that's why this property can be exploited for the development of biosensor. And you know that surface plasmon resonance is an optical phenomena. Okay, and the nanoparticle has surface plasma resonance properties due to a charge density oscillation at the interface of metal and a dielectric uh, constant of opposite sign. Okay, like a thin film of gold on high refractive index glass surface can absorb laser light, producing electron wave that is called surface plasmon on the gold surface. This occurs only at a specific angle and wavelength of incident light and is highly dependent on the surface of the gold, such that binding of target analyte to a receptor changes the resonant frequency, which produce a measurable signal. Okay, so in that way, we have to exploit the optical property in the development of biosensor. So you know that the fluorescence is a molecular absorption phenomena of light at one wavelength and is instantaneous emission of a longer wavelength. Some molecule fluoresce naturally, and others, such as DNA, can be modified for fluorescence detection by attachment of specific fluorescent dyes. Okay. If we talk about the applications, so these the DNA sensors developed in the for the monitoring of genetic diseases and immunosensor for the monitoring of HIV, hepatitis, and other viral diseases, drug testing, and for environmental monitoring, and cell-based sensor like functional sensor, drug testing, and point of care sensor like analysis of blood, urine, electrolyte, gases, steroid, drugs, hormone, and protein. Okay, and bacteria like E. coli, detection of streptococcus, staphylococcus in the food industry, medicine, environment in the environment studies, and enzyme sensor for the detection of diabetes, drug testing. Okay. Now the mechanical transducer. So mechanical transducer is one which convert mechanical energy into the electrical energy. Okay. So that's why mechanical transducer are usually cantilever shaped, as shown in the figure. Smaller size of mechanical transducer produces outstanding mass resolution in a single atom, which is advantage from quartz crystal. Okay, that's why uh, the biomolecule form a monolayer on the upper side of the micro cantilever that generate surface stress, producing static mechanical bending with a curvature which cause cantilever to oscillate with respect to the equilibrium position. Okay, so application of this type of biosensor can specifically detect a single base mismatch in oligonucleotide hybridization technology. And in these assays, nucleic acids are immobilized on a side of cantilever, and exposure of the cantilever to a sample containing complementary nucleic acid give rise to cantilever bending or deflection of a few nanometer, and this deflection can be measured by an optical system in which a laser beam reflects on cantilever. Okay, uh, that's why that's why various types of transducer have been developed. Okay, for the detection and diagnosis of various disease, and their application in the bionanotechnology have been all developed so far. Okay, that's why nano transducer provide much better result over the conventional sensor. Okay, that's why the further scope is there to control production and better detecting technique, which can enhance the use of these biosensor in the medical purpose. Okay, and these are the references used for the prepared content. Now you have to attempt quiz. Okay, and at the end of the quiz, you have to cross-check your answer with the answer key. The first question is glucose biosensor detect the liberation of electrochemical species in the enzymatic reaction was measured at the working electrode surface. Okay. Second question, nanomaterial used in the biosensor. It would be nanoparticle, nanotubes, or nanowire. And the electrochemical biosensor measure the change in the particular property affected by charge near the surface of the sensor or the pH of the solvent, causing the sensor to register a change in the measuring property. Okay. So which of the following option is correct? An artificial red cell is still in research phase, and this device would have used such as blood substitution that are detecting oxygen content in the blood using biosensor. And nanometer used in the biosensor would be, and the approach involved biosensing through the skin rather than having an electrode system implanted. And the diagnosis of leukemia that caused by mutation in gene. Therefore, DNA is one of the better way to diagnose it. So scientists have designed which of the following. And the other problem with the current drug delivery system method are, and the quantum dots are widely used in the development of optical biosensors can able to detect. And the quantum dots are, which of the following options are correct. Okay, now you have to check your answer with the answer key. Okay, so thank you.